With Destination Newry, I have with me the guru, the man of the moment, the economy, what's up and what's down. Feargal McCormack, it's lovely to see you.
Lovely to see your own hands. How are you?
You know something, I'm awfully well, I think, and we keep trundling on at full speed.
Onwards and upwards.
There is no other way. And any alternative would be totally unacceptable. Did you win? Did World Point win on Sunday?
Yes, Warren Point made history, became the first down club to win the Ulster Intermediate Football Championship on Sunday.
Wow.
So it was a very momentous occasion. The team and the management did us proud and did the area proud.
So was it a big victory, or was it you scrape in with a skin of your teeth job?
No, Inniskeen Grattan's put it up to us, and entering the final quarter was anybody's game.
Wow.
But at
So
that stage, speed and fitness and skill shown out, and Warren Point went on to win by 7 points.
Hey, that sort of level, that sort of intermediate thing, what age are the lads who are playing?
Oh, they're adults.
Adults.
The difference is, in terms of category, you have senior, then intermediate, then junior, then reserve.
Yes.
So it's the second category of senior football.
Oh, yeah. A great athlete of the past died yesterday.
Yes, the great Jack Kyle.
Jack Kyle went, wonderful man, and was laid to rest. Tough man. And you know something? Some of my friends in Dublin, I was talking to them at the weekend, one in particular. He's a man very much down on his fortune and his luck. But he played rugby, remembered with intelligence and accuracy, Jack Kyle.
Well, I had the privilege of hearing Jack Kyle speak about 7 or 8 years ago. I was at a sports charity dinner he was the guest speaker at in Belfast, in the Reform Club. I have to say it was one of the finest speeches I ever heard.
Yeah.
He was talking about obviously a career cut short by the decision to go to serve or to be a doctor in Africa.
Yes.
But
Well,
he was an immense man, a man who contributed greatly not only to Ireland but to the broader world.
He did so much, you know, taking his skills out to the African people.
Yeah, but he had a lovely way with him. A man of great faith. Of great faith. That'll be very apparent if you were speaking to him. And great values. And, you know, it comes back to the fact that values are important.
Yeah, that's what we keep talking about. That.
Values.
You'll not be surprised to learn from the survey during the week that Northern Ireland is way ahead of the Republic in terms of wealth, that we're doing better. But the reason given, and you've talked of this reason before, public sector employment. We have been held away from the awfulness of the bad recessionary times that hit the South square on.
Well, I think we've said that numerous occasions here. We didn't reach the peaks of the South, nor did we reach the lows of the South.
Yes.
But the disadvantage of being dependent on the public sector is that when things pick up again, as they will, our uptake will be slower. So as a result, last year, the Republic achieved growth of over 3%, GDP growth, which is a measure of economic growth. The North will achieve probably 1%. We'll do 1% next year. The Republic will do 3% again.
So it's an incomplete figure.
It's
an incomplete analysis.
In an ideal world, you'd want less dependence on the public sector because ultimately to fund education, to fund health, you need wealth creation. The public is very important. It's a very important part of the mix of wealth creation.
Yes.
But it's not the only part, and it's not the fastest growing part.
But
the fastest growing part is private sector.
Yeah,
now,
of course.
Mix and balance is important. You wouldn't want all private sector. You need public.
Yeah.
So you need a combination also of the not-for-profit sector.
Yes.
But it's that balance. We're out of balance at present, and that's why it's so exciting that potentially it looks as if corporation tax may be the next stage.
Coming to us. Hold that thought in corporation tax, if you would. But the reality is that the people in the Republic, they stand alone. They have nobody to lean on. They have no one to present a begging bowl to.
They don't have 12 billion coming from Southeast England to say, be good boys there and be fools, but we'll keep you of 12 billion. And that figure is getting bigger all the time. And unfortunately,
But it's got to stop.
if you listen to it, well, it's not because, well, it will eventually, perhaps,
Yeah.
but our politicians don't realise that.
Yeah, but do you see any time scale for it stopping?
Well, I don't see it. You just couldn't stop it at present. If you stopped it at present, we'd be like Bavaria or somewhere.
Yeah.
In terms of our true standard of life. But the real issue here is that we cannot rely on the mentality of that subsidy, and that is all of us. I mean, we have we have to get away from this take. It isn't going to work. It may work for this generation, but it's selfish because it won't work for the next one.
And we're being selfish towards our those who are coming after us, the next generation, because we're not sculpting out the future for them.
Well, we have to acknowledge that basically, long term, we're a far better place if we can stand on our own. Don't get me wrong, Britain has responsibilities. It can't walk away. It was a contributing factor to the economic and deprivation which came to this island, and
Yes,
came to this part
absolutely.
of the island
Yeah.
for many years. And there is a responsibility to sort that out. But there is no doubt we also must take the initiative and go forward.
Police this morning warning of a real threat in Belfast, dissident Republicans coming up to Christmas.
You remember last year on a couple of the Friday evenings, unfortunately.
That's right.
And the sadder thing about that is that the fact the police have said it means they believe they have intelligence is a high threat. That by itself all of a sudden pushes people away from Belfast. And I think, to be honest,
I'm never sure.
I think, to be honest,
I know what you're saying.
we're all just fed up with this.
Yeah,
it's time
absolutely.
to move on, and everyone has the right to do business and the right to go out and shop and
to be
enjoy
left
themselves
alone.
and to be left alone.
But you see,
And to be fair, I think the key we're really saying here is we respect this diversity. Everybody's entitled to their views. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
But you don't have to bomb your opinion down anybody else's throat.
these are yesterday's men, as Will Kerr of the PSNI said this morning. They are yesterday's men. They won't leave us alone.
Well, I may adopt a slightly different thing in that I think that I respect all people's words or views. I may not agree with them, but I respect the right to talk your view.
Of course.
Thereafter,
But not bomb your view.
Correct. Thereafter, everyone must be on an equal footing, which is we all have a voice, and then we have to persuade people to agree to our view. But it is totally wrong to impose your view by violence or indeed any other means on anybody else.
Euro sitting at 1.25 at the moment. Dundalk, Letterkenny smiling all the way to the bank. Business is going out there.
Well, I think again, whenever it was the other way, I've always made this point. Currency is quicksand. You know, it's the core underlying business fundamentals that drive business. And currency may give you short fluctuations, but it's the business proposition. And I think if the business proposition is such, then people will come and buy goods or indeed purchase goods and services.
You also said previously that it's not just about the cost of the item, it's the nature of the service you're given. There is the loyalty factor that builds up, and people like coming to Newry, like going to the Butter Crane, like going to the Quays, you know?
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I want to move away a little bit from parochialism, if you don't mind me saying this. And I want to say that not in my backyard or in my backyard, I don't support. I believe that I've argued now for some time that the Newry-Dundalk twin city approach is the way forward. And I believe that that is the key factor, because population is key here. And if you think of Belfast, Dublin, Cork, Limerick, Galway and Derry perhaps, the only other significant conurbation of population that can hit that 300,000 catchment area is Newry, Dundalk, Greater Region, because you have the out to Monaghan, Newcastle. So getting back to the fundamentals, I would rather we develop a hardcore economic region, cluster region in this area, because I think that will ultimately deliver.
That's a good one.
That will ultimately deliver incomes, which then deliver people to shop.
Give it 20 years with the way growth is occurring in the land in between us. Northern Dundalk, Southern Newry. There's going to be a marriage physically of the two within 2 decades.
Well, I would hope so, but we can't take things for granted. May I remind you that back in 1945...
I was just 1 year ago. You weren't even born.
Sorry, back in 1845...
I wasn't born then.
The population of Ireland was 8 million. The population of Great Britain was about 16 million. And the population of America was about 17 million. Our population on the island is now about 5.25, 5.5. Britain is what, 65 million? America, 5 times. So we have
puts it in a context.
And what it says is, it comes back to that dependence on public sector. We have not had the guts, the vision, or the creativity to say, growth in population is not everything, but there's one sure thing. We do not have enough people living in this island at present. And we don't have enough people because we haven't created the infrastructure for them, the economic infrastructure. We need to create a future that is dynamic for this generation, but for future generations.
Absolutely. And
to answer your question, that's what should happen, but it may not happen.
Indeed, indeed.
And it may not happen because people might adopt, or you might suggest, that little parochial attitude you had there a minute ago. We've got to get away.
I don't have a parochial attitude. I define it as held by others, dear boy.
Good,
oh yeah, no.
I wouldn't want to put you in a box.
No, don't place me with the Neanderthals.
But what I do want to convince you is that every solution does not have to be Newry, Banbridge, Newry. Obviously, as one who has a business in Newry, I want to see Newry doing well. But I believe that a combined Newry Dundalk and a combined, in a bigger context, island economy will be to the mutual benefit of Belfast and Dublin, to the mutual benefit of Ballymena and Cork.
Absolutely. Corporation tax. We're going to have powers there, are we?
Well, I mean...
thank you, Alex Salmond.
Well, no, I think that's unfair. I think he actually delayed it for 2 years. I think, to be fair, thank you, Sir George Quigley, Eamon Donaghy, Brian Keegan, Paddy Hardy, the Institute of Chartered Accountants.
Men who put the work in.
I myself was involved early on in the active campaign. This wasn't popular at the start. It's not corporation tax by itself. It's the trigger effect that it will send out to the world that we're ready for business. Because whether you like it or not, back to the point we're making shortly, we're on the periphery of Northern Ireland. We're on the periphery of the south of Ireland.
Yes, we are. Indeed.
We're on the periphery of the British Isles. We're on the periphery of Europe.
Yes.
And therefore, we are not perhaps the ideal location for somebody who starts to look, first of all, where they're going to locate their business.
Yes.
And we need to have mobile, economic, business attractive incentives. And in the past, we used grants. We can't use them to the same effect.
But is the new formula a combination?
No, let me finish, please. A very important point. The difference in moving the taxes, you're attracting profitable businesses.
Yes.
As opposed to businesses who want grants.
Yes.
Because the difference is the grants come up front. The benefit of the tax doesn't come up front. It only comes when you earn profits.
When you earn the money, yeah.
So it's a really significant difference in terms of sustainable business. Now, to answer your next question, tax in itself is not the solution.
Is it a combination?
Tax plays an important part long term. Now, it won't have the same impact because corporation taxes are falling. Corporation tax in the UK used to be, a few years ago, 30%.
Yes.
It's now 21%, falling to 20%. In the south, it's 12.5%. So
what does that mean for the layman? 12.5%. Is that 12.5? Is 12.5 better than 30% in terms of the tax? That's all they're going to have to pay to government.
Well, let's say you earn £1,000.
Yeah.
In the south of your trading company, trading profits are taxed at 12.5%. So you would pay £125 tax.
Yes.
If it was 30% tax, you pay at 300.
Yes, that's
so what
the
that means is the cost of business is an extra 12.5%.
Yeah.
Very few businesses would make a net profit of 12.5%. So actually, it has a phenomenal impact on the bottom line. It has a phenomenal impact also in the amount you can reinvest into your business, the growth.
Using your formula, and I take it seriously, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but if a business comes to me and asks me for 27 million to start up and give it to him as a grant, I should automatically, almost automatically, not automatically, turn my nose up a wee bit because he needs that sort of money.
Well, don't get me wrong, grants have played their part, but certainly you have to be conscious that if you try and stretch the grant over a period of time, but it's more difficult to do that as a capital-intensive project. And that is why the island of Ireland was suitable quite often for 2 site locations. Capital-intensive projects in the north to get the grants, and profit-generating projects in the south to make the benefit of the lower corporation tax.
Okay, where do we go next? I see there's a company here, a woman. She's doing very well, a Uri person. She's in here somewhere. She's disappeared, goodness gracious. It's a lady, she's involved, it's like mother care stuff, based in Uri. I have it here, I think. Yes, here she is. I don't know if you know this woman. Baby Boom sees booming trade for retail enterprise. It's a lady called Maeve Collins. She's the founder-owner of award-winning Uri-based Mother and Baby, Baba Me. She and her business enjoy a stellar upward trajectory since its birth 11 years ago, with just 100 quid of startup capital. That's a lovely story.
It's a lovely story, lovely story. And it's good to see her making progress. And again, you'll find there's an export element to that business.
Well, it has to be. Has to be export.
Well,
is China still good?
The economy, I'm not sure about China. The economy in China is now starting to decline a little bit. It's still achieving growth. Good growth. I mean, growth we would take our arm off for.
Yes.
But not just the same level. Wage levels are increasing, and as you would expect, as people become more alert to their rights.
Looking to the future, I wouldn't be much pleased to be a turkey at the moment.
Well, it depends what quality of life you're having.
Yeah. You not know anything about the chop when it comes.
You know, life requires food.
It does. We apologise to the turkey for what's going to happen to it. And we will make sure you live well, Mr. Turkey.
Well, surely you can have the satisfaction of knowing of the contribution it is making to our happiness and well-being.
Do you hear that? There's a photograph of a turkey here. Do you hear that, Mr. Turkey? Be content. You're making us happy.
Get the glass half full.
Shake my hand. You're a good man. Thank you for coming in. Tell them first of all about Thursday.
You watch the turkeys. Yeah, well, Thursday's big day. Thursday's the Newry Business Christmas Charity Dinner. Over 750 people will be in the Canal Court. It will, I'm pretty confident, we will break the £1 million figure for local charities, and it's a great day to be in Newry. Thursday will be a very
and for the first time, it's evening time, which gives the buzz the whole day long.
And more importantly, we're also honouring 2 great men as well with Newry connections. Obviously, Michael Barry, the current moderator of the Presbyterian Church, and a man close to your own heart, Father Peter McVerry.
Peter McVerry, indeed. Peter's in with me on Friday morning after the thing. He's coming to me at 3 o'clock on Thursday, and we're recording a full hour with him.
Good. Well, that's good.
That's particularly appropriate at the moment because, you know, if you think about it, did you see the story? A man died in a doorway in the early hours of yesterday morning, not 50 metres from Leinster House in Dublin, a homeless man. It's dreadful.
Well, that's an indictment on us all.
It is indeed. I have a spare room. He could have been in there, but he wasn't. So who am I to point the finger and shout? I'm not doing that. But anyway, thank you for coming in. We shall see you on Thursday.
We'll see you in your best.
God bless you.
Thank you, Ron.
It's always good to see you.
Bye.
Come again.